For over 100 years, we've relied on low-cost migrant labor to harvest our fruits and vegetables. While the issue of immigration and migrant workers ebbs and flows as a controversy, the University of Michigan's efforts to provide services to the workers who are crucial to one of our biggest industries has remained constant. Mercedes Mejia has the story.
For over 100 years, the United States has relied on migrant farm laborers to pick its fruit and vegetable crops, allowing the country to enjoy bountiful harvests and low food prices. The majority of these workers come from Mexico and Texas, and they travel from state to state, harvesting whichever crop is ripe. Naturally, this population has a need for services, and projects at the University of Michigan reach out to them. I caught up with Dr. Phil Rogers of the Department of Family Medicine, which for almost 20 years has staffed a medical clinic for workers at a farm in Washtenaw County. Why does the Department of Family Medicine do this work?
We believe that it's important for us to help care for patients in all of our communities. That includes those who live here year-round and those who are seasonal. I feel it's important both for our learners to experience this as a part of their education, but also to be shown the importance of service.
The Dew Russell Farm has hired migrant farm workers for over 40 years. As a special agent to the National Advisory Council on Migrant Health, Farm President Mike Dew Russell has strong feelings about his workforce.
Oh, they're hard workers. They value the money they make. They save while they're here.
Why do you provide medical care to the workers?
Well, people need medical care. I mean, they're your workers in that there, and you want the best thing for them.
Partnering with Health Services, a company that operates clinics around the state, faculty, residents, and medical students provide medical care at the on-site clinic.
Sí, nomás que donde yo estaba yendo es una clínica que está como a 2 horas de aquí. Y me lo dejaban en ese precio.
The partnership means an opportunity to provide care right at this site. The farm workers, a lot of times, they don't have transportation. There's a lot of barriers. A lot of the adults don't have any insurance right now. The residents have been fantastic. We depend on them. There are providers. We couldn't do it without them.
Medical student Dan Peck belongs to a student-organized group that focuses on issues affecting Latino and Native American people.
One of the patients hadn't seen a doctor in a very long time, and he needed new medications, so I was kind of expecting that. And also just the Spanish speaking. Many patients don't have a place they can go where they can speak Spanish comfortably.
So what do you find most rewarding or challenging about doing this kind of work here?
It's definitely a different environment. Being in the hospital at Michigan, you have so many things at your disposal, and you come here and it's just a different environment, so it presents new challenges. It definitely helps you grow as a doctor and a medical student. I think it's a great experience.
Having worked with migrants at clinics in Texas, second-year resident Joanna Lee has a clear frame of reference in approaching her work at the Dew Russell Farm.
I think a lot of us, we don't go into medicine because it's very glamorous or anything like that. I think it's more about where the need is, and it puts things in perspective when you see people who don't have everything that we do. I think that it's our job to kind of make sure that they have the same care that everyone else is able to afford.
As Assistant Dean of Student Programs, Dr. Jim Peggs has been coming out to the clinic for over 15 years. How do you personally feel about providing this kind of service?
Honestly, a little embarrassed because it makes me feel good. There's a danger to feeling like those who volunteer their time are doing some great work somehow and making the world a better place. I constantly kind of resist the temptation to feel self-righteous. So I feel grateful to have the opportunity. It always keeps me grounded.
20 or so miles from the Dew Russell Farm, another group of U of M students engages with farm workers and their families to teach them English.
Running shoes.
What department?
And department shoes.
Shoe department.
Shoe department.
Instructor Mabel Rodriguez leads the Migrant Worker Outreach and Education Program, a collaboration between the English Language Institute and the residential college. Before you guys actually head out to the farms, How do you prepare the students?
First, we want them to be aware of who the population is that they're going to be working, what the issues, educational issues, ESL requirements, where they use English, etc. Then we also give them ESL theory, communicative language learning, functional English, how to teach this in interactive techniques. And the last part is we actually use techniques that are interactive during the course.
What do you do with your students then in practice?
At the farm? Well, they do a lot. They get to the camp and they have to look for their students. Literally recruit door to door, introduce themselves, figure out which migrants are interested, what kind of language they're interested, get them involved in a dialogue and invite them to come to the classes.
Ointment.
Ointment.
Do you know what ointment means in Spanish?
This is basically to test their knowledge and kind of give them practice. We're going to act as store helpers.
A spoon, department.
Where's the spoons? The spoons are in the kitchen and dining department.
Okay.
It's before the automotive.
Automotive?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
The first couple lessons for sure, we use a lot of Spanish, and my Spanish level is not as low as their English level, but I think me making mistakes made them feel comfortable enough to make mistakes.
It's very interactive teaching. Is this something that you guys developed over time?
Yes, we've been working on it since the beginning. So first we started with just like basic things, just the names. Spatula.
A spatula.
And kind of associating it with different products.
And what do you think the students are getting out of this whole thing?
Well, hopefully I want them to be like encouraged, you know, like to speak like English wherever they can. So like hopefully with us they could feel that, you know, like they could feel more comfortable speaking the language.
Trabajan por el día y vienen a tomar clases.
Exactamente.
¿Y por qué quieren
aprender? Para poder desenvolvernos con la gente americana.
Sí, pues para poder saludar, porque nosotros pasamos ahí de loco y pues ahí vienen y pues no podemos saludar, nosotros no sabemos inglés y pues necesita aprender unos pocos para saludar a la gente.
No, ya no voy a depender de otras personas que más o menos saben. Simple y sencillamente con la ayuda de esto, pues más o menos voy a ir entendiendo poco a poco.
Why should the university provide this service to migrant workers?
The work that they do is valuable to our society, so their lives need to be valuable to us as well.